Hi, I am Sarah Smith. I'm a horticulturalist here at Rogers Gardens, and I want to thank you to our weekly live stream that we're doing as a gardening series every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, except for this Sunday. But we are trying to show you different experts here from Rogers Gardens that can teach you some different tricks, some different styles, and just make you a better, more abundant garden. Today's topic, what we're going to talk about is flowering gardens that are perfect for summer. We are transitioning into a hotter season, so a lot of your early spring stuff that we typically plant in winter is starting to get a little wilty, starting to look a little sorry. So this is the perfect time to revamp your garden, add some new color, add some beautiful hot spots for you that will really kind of flourish. So I want to show you some of my favorite things, talk about some of my favorite ways to maintain and to feed and make everything really happy in your garden. One of my first things that I want to show you my all-time favorite summer flower is a dahlia. Dahlias are beautiful. I have a giant dahlia in my hat. It's great for cutting and bringing inside. I really enjoy having dahlias in my garden. It's something that you can plant small. There's small bedding dahlias. There's really tall dahlias. They are tuberous dahlias. The biggest one that I really like right here. So this is one of our larger dahlias. They're just so gorgeous. They're really starting to come into their true form. If you started yours from a tuber, don't worry, you're probably just going to have a little bit of greens right now. The flowers are coming. These were grown in a greenhouse, so they're already flowering for you. So if it's something you forgot, oh no, I forgot my tubers this year, you can always come in and buy them already flowering, which is so beautiful. And they're such a perfect flower to bring inside. They last forever. I've had this in my hat today and it's been fairly warm and it's still pretty nice. And then you can also buy small bedding dahlias as well. They're really cute, tinier little versions of this. So they come in almost as tall as me down to tiny little ones. But dahlias is one of my favorite summer flowers. They come in a myriad of different colors. I know that you're watching live, so we maybe have some questions. What kind of questions do we have?
Question, do you need to fertilize dahlias? If so, when and what kind?
Yeah, so dahlias, because they're tuberous, love to be fertilized. A lot of bone meal is really great for them. So when you first plant your bulb, which you should have done in the springtime, if you didn't, don't worry, you can buy them like this. But what you'll do is as you're planting, you're going to throw some fertilizer in there. That's going to really help it get established and growing. My favorite one that we have is our the flower, bloom and flower, rose and flower fertilizer. It's a powdered fertilizer. It's totally organic. You feed it when you first plant it. Then when you start to see flowers on it, or if you plant it like this, you fertilize it once the flowers open up. And then you want to fertilize it really good in the end. That will really help it come back next year, because these are something that will die down all the way to the ground, but they'll come back for you again next year, as long as they're the larger size one. The bedding size ones are not going to come back for you. You're just going to treat them like an annual. But it's truly such a pretty flower. Another really nice one if you're dealing with shade, because this is a full sun flower that's also really showy just the same way, is begonias. I love begonias. Look how pretty that is. So this is almost like the shade equivalent plant. So this is a really great one that also will die down to the ground. Use the same kind of fertilizer, so our rose and flower fertilizer for this, and then once this dies back down, it'll come back again for you again, but it's going to start coming up. And again, if you started yours from bulbs, these are a little bit early. You should have some opening flowers on it at this point now. But again, fertilizing when you first plant it, fertilizing it when flowers open, fertilizing it towards the end of its life cycle. Let it die all the way back down and it'll come back for you. But great for a shady spot, really kind of pops and adds a lot of nice color and dimension. I love these so much. The next thing that I'm really loving this year, and like there's nothing more summery than sunflowers, right? So sunflowers, this is a sunflower that we have from our Sunbelievable line. These are amazing. So, typically we think of a sunflower being one big flower, it dies once it's done, and that's all you get. But these are beautiful. You're gonna have tons and tons of flowers on these. This one right here, this one's done. The best way to keep these really happy is by deadheading it. So what you would do is you would take your pruners and you would cut it. I'm going to attempt this with my fingers. Remember, we're live people, so we'll see. Oh yeah, there we go. So you would cut it with pruners just like that. That's going to get these blooms to really open again for you, and to continually flower for you. That's a key when you're dealing with all of your annuals and all your tender perennials, is deadheading them all the time. They really love to be deadheaded, and the more you deadhead it, the more flowers you're going to get, the happier it's going to be. And then, oh, we got another question. Okay, cool.
What is the sunflower called, and how big does it get?
Okay, so this variety right here, we have a lot of different ones. This one's called Golden Girl, and this is a bush type one, so it's gonna get like mid-thigh on me. But we have a couple of different varieties that we have, but I'm loving this one. I think the flower is so pretty on it. Last year, I think I did I believe it was called Cut and Come Again, but this is a really pretty bushy, not singular trunk sunflower, and will last you forever. That's a nice thing. You're going to have this all the way into the fall time. So it's so pretty. But yeah, this one is the Golden Girl. Now, one of my other favorite summer ones, Gomphrena. I couldn't even bring all the Gomphrenias we have. There's so many different kinds of Gomphrenias. They come in all different kinds of colors. Some will have tiny little bulbs like this. Some will have really big, tall, stocky ones. They're also a really good cut flower, which makes a nice filler. But Gomphrena comes in oranges, it comes in reds, it comes in whites. This hot pink one is one of my favorite ones. It's really, really great in full sun. Doesn't require a lot of water, which is nice. And it's a great filler plant. So I tend to like to have beds that have perennial plants that are permanently in there. And then areas that I tuck my annuals and my tender perennials in. Tender perennials are plants that are going to die off on you if you don't really baby them over the winter time. So I treat those sometimes like annuals. And it looks like we got another question.
Two questions if you have time.
I have time.
Is it too late to start sunflowers from seed? And then will any of the plants that you're showing grow well in pots on a deck?
Yeah, so it's not too late to grow from seed, but I would try to grow a smaller variety right now. So if you're trying to do the monstrous ones that get really tall, it might be a smidge late to get those started, because once you get the flower on it, it might be cooling down, and that's when we get a lot of powdery mildew problems. Everyone around here, being close to the ocean like we are, there's a bit of a marine layer at play. If you go more inland, you don't have to worry about that as much. So you can still absolutely start them from seeds, especially if it's a smaller variety sunflower. And what was the other question?
Will any of the flowers
Pots.
that you've shown grow on pots on a deck?
Yeah, so yeah, all of these would be great on a pot so far that I've shown. And the really nice thing is that I tell everybody, always make sure that when you're picking up a plant, you're looking at these tags, because these tags are always going to tell you how tall the plant's going to get. So that will give you a perspective. A lot of times people will buy something that's nice and small and tiny to start with. They don't realize how big it's going to get. So always check those tags. But all of these would be great in pots. The dahlias, I grow most of my dahlias in pots at home, and same with the begonias. And these ones already come in these nice terracotta parts that already have the kind of really pretty mossing around the bottom that looks patinaed, but it's natural, which is really great. Gomphrena as well would be a perfect thing in a pot, and great for combining together. So another one of my plants that I really like for really hot, crazy summer color, lobelia. Lobelia is so easy. It fills in, it rambles, it kind of looks good together. And if you plant the two together, it's nice to have something with tall structure and then something below it that will trail a little bit. So they look really pretty together and work really well. Just make sure you're always checking your tags to make sure they also require the same sun. You don't want to plant something that's going to be great in hot sun, and then you pick something like a Coleus that just can't handle it. So, and always ask us. That's what we're here for. We're here to answer all those questions and let you know if you've picked two things that are going to go together very well. One of my next plants that I want to show, I'm going to show you two of these guys. This is a Salvia here. Great for the hummingbirds, which is really, really nice. And this is Angelonia. This is another one of my favorite summer plants. It's nice because it has some great height. So in those little funky areas that I always seem to have in my perennial beds, or I need to tuck something in that's going to be striking and have a little bit of height and color, these are great. So I love both these plants. This is fantastic for the hummingbirds. They really are attracted to this. And Angelonia comes in so many different colors. They call this the summer snapdragon. So it's a really great one for once we start getting hot. We'll handle that heat. It is technically a tender perennial. I actually managed to keep a lot of mine from last year, and now they're all flowering nicely. I had to cut it back. I had to go through the ugly, awkward phase with them, but they came back really nicely for me, which I was really happy about. Shade too. I don't want to forget all of you who have to deal with shade. So we did talk about the begonia, but another great one for shade too is the Coleus. Coleus come in all different kinds of wild technicolors. They're just so many different varieties of these. These are a pretty easy plant to grow. They respond well to pinching back and making them nice and full and big. But you can't get any other kind of crazy color like you can with a Coleus, which is really nice. And we got another question.
Can you spell the last plant mentioned, Gumfrina?
Gumfrina. I'm so horrible at spelling. Gomph for RINA. Someone's going to have to spell check that for me. That's like a 1,000,000-point word in Scrabble, right?
So Gumfrina is GOMPHRENA.
Okay, I was close-ish for horseshoes, right? But Gumfrina is... I think a lot of people are finally starting to really discover this plant. I think it's one of those ones that's going to become really popular very quickly because it was something that we didn't carry a lot of different varieties, and we've started carrying more and more and more. And there's a firework one that gets really big and pretty. It's just so attractive. It has that kind of wispy quality too, which is really nice. Also, a tried and true is our good old cosmos. I love cosmos. Cosmos come in so many different sizes. You can get short little cosmos. You can get really, really tall cosmos. I love these plants so much. They scream summer. They're really easy. They come in all shades of pinks to whites, but they're just one of those easy, good summer colors. And the blue and white combo in a border, how beautiful would that be? So just a good, easy kind of plant, perfect for summertime. I love these two together. And again, you can get little shorty cosmos. You can get really tall. The sonatas get kind of midway. You can get them all the way up to like 3 feet in all different colors. As we get more into the summertime, we get some really interesting ones, the shell cosmos and stuff too. And don't forget watering and fertilizing. That's very, very important. We have all different kinds of fertilizers. Again, here we carry all organics. We can always tell you what your watering needs are as well. So I would just want to say thank you for joining me. This has been really, really fun. We have one more question before I wrap up.
What is the variety of the dahlia on your hat?
Oh, you know what? I didn't even look at what this one is. It is a dinner plate dahlia. So it's one that we do carry in pots. We have it right now because I obviously picked it. Don't tell anybody. But I was deadheading it, right? So it's a good thing to do. But we do carry this one. It's a dinner plate style dahlia. I don't know the exact name of this one though. A lot of times when we get them in really big, they don't give us individual names for that. But when we get them from bulb, they are always in bags with the names on it. We also have a dahlia contest, which is something you should all come see. And they will list them out with all the different names and stuff for the different varieties of dahlias. But I am going to wrap up and then tell you, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. This is something that's really fun for us to all do. I want to let you know that tomorrow we're going to have Haley come on at 9 o'clock in the morning. She's going to talk about picking out the perfect house plant for the different lighting areas that you have in your house. You know, you always have that one room that's really bright and the one room that's really dark, so she'll help you with that. Please feel free to share all of our live streams with all of your friends. They're available to watch afterwards. Our YouTube video also has tons of different videos, tons of different little mini workshops that you can watch, all kinds of really cool educational stuff. You can find all kinds of information there. And of course, you can come to our website, shoprogersgardens.com. You can shop the boutique or you can come shop with us as well. We're here in store waiting for you. Okay, thank you so much.